Good morning and happy Tuesday, Revealing Truth Ministries, family and friends. Welcome to this Tuesday morning Deeper Dive Live. We are live in the studio with the livest live audience in all of Tampa Bay. The staff is in the building. Let us know that you're in the chat. Drop something there. Say good morning to those who you're chatting with. We look forward to and appreciate this time, this moment that we get to get together. The Deeper Dive gives us the opportunity to attend to the things that God has said to us as we've determined to be people who are most blessed indeed. Pastor Brian is here with us this morning.
What's happening?
Pastor Brian is here this morning from Sunday's second service to take a deeper dive into the message. Good to see you, Pastor Brian.
It's good to see you, Pastor.
Man, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing to talk about.
Can't see, Pastor Lamar's socks match his shirt.
Come on.
Let's just talk about it for a second.
Can you see?
I just thought I'll put them up on game real quick.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know.
Hey, man. All right. They probably, I don't know if they changing the view. You know, the switchers are back there on the cameras.
But you wanted to give them a second to do so if they were. You know what I'm saying? I see where you at. I'll post a photo later.
We appreciate it. Hey, Sunday's message, this whole conversation, right? Hello again. Gives me like vibes of like reacquainting with an old friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like meeting up with somebody after you done celebrated your 10-year, your 20-year high school reunion, but you meeting up with somebody from high school, and there are things that you thought you knew about them, you know, because you're imagining them based on where you last left them.
Ooh,
but then you find out there's some things that change.
Listen.
So you leave with a new acquaintance, a new, you know.
Yes, sir.
I had to release some things that I thought.
Yeah.
Because you know.
Yes, sir.
I see some things I hadn't seen before.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about hello again.
Yeah. No, and I've enjoyed my introduction to the miraculous, reintroduction to the miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, things that, man, it got so simple because I talked about it on Sunday, but it was like, you know, I realized that purpose perverters has started to even influence my view of the miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you know, you have people who are selling water. You know, you have people who are selling cloths, and you're kind of like, man, I believe in this thing, but because of these purpose perverters, it's like I want to stay clear of being associated with what they are doing.
That's good.
And then God's like, hello again. No, the miraculous is necessary for your faith. Don't allow purpose perverters to cause you to move away from something that is necessary for your faith. So, like, it was like, hello again. Realize that this is necessary for your everyday functioning.
That's good.
Your belief in the miraculous.
That's good. That's
Right.
good. You made me think about my family's recent experience with the miraculous, right? And one of the things that I found out that I wasn't necessarily keeping in the front of my mind was that God's plan is way bigger than what I think. Like oftentimes we imagine and we're praying about things that pertain to our direct life, when God is thinking about all of this history, past, present, and future. So the thing that he does in your life is like, well, for more people than you, there's always an audience. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Your belief in the miraculous will galvanize your faith when things look unfavorable. Like, there's nothing that will cause you to remain confident in unfavorable situations than your belief in the miraculous. And when you start to put it that way, you start to realize, wait a minute, it's not that I'm believing in something spooky. It's just saying that I refuse to switch my dependency away from God no matter how dim the situation looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe that there's no set of circumstances that can stop God from doing what he said he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It galvanizes your faith. And I mean, it reminds me, Hebrews says that those who come to God have to believe that he's a rewarder, right? The prerequisite to believing and walking in faith is to believe that he is a rewarder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I believe in the miraculous, it's saying that I don't believe there's a set of circumstances that can stop God from being the rewarder he said he's going to be.
That's good.
And so it actually is not my belief in the mystical. It's a galvanizer of my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then when God hello again, God's
Yeah.
like, Brian, like, this is not about you believing something spooky.
Mm-hmm.
This is about you saying that there's no place I will ever be where I'll take my dependency away from God.
That's
like,
good.
I don't care if it takes God intervening in Earth's affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they said no, he'll turn their no to a yes. He'll move the hearts of people
Mm-hmm.
for me. Like, there's nothing that will stop God for intervening in my life. So, like, it's a galvanizer of our faith,
Yeah.
right?
When you mentioned the scripture from Hebrews, the first part of that says that you have to believe that he is.
Yeah.
Like, it points to him.
Yeah.
And then it points to what he rewards. On like the mic drop moment from Sunday was the statement. I got it right here. It's not a what, but a who.
Exactly.
Like, remembering
Yes.
that the always in the backdrop, there's this pointing us back to the relationship. Like, we want to get caught up on the processes, but we got to remember that it's a relationship.
Yeah, and what we were saying is accepting, right? I think certain things like, I always think back to Amber and how she's being raised, because God speaks of our relationship with him being similar to that of a loving father.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain things I tell Amber that just remind her that, I know that's different, and it's so important for our people of faith to accept what's different about you being a person of faith. And when you start to reject those things, you'll start to find yourself, it'll be hard for you to galvanize in critical moments. And so it's like, I get it. It is slightly a little foolish for me to still believe something can happen with this. And I accept that. I accept that you think that my stance is foolish. I accept that you think that my way is a little irrational. I accept that because I understand that you don't understand the who that I know.
Yeah.
But I understand that that's also a little irrational to you, right? That I believe that there's a who that died on the cross, rose 3 days later, and put all power that he had inside of me. And when you really think about it, it's a little foolish when you consider me.
Yeah.
But I believe in that foolishness, right? Like, and just like sometimes when you say it like that, you take the power away from the perverters,
That's
right?
good.
Who are trying to
Right.
get you to make it make sense. You're like, it doesn't make sense. That's why it's called faith.
Yeah.
Like it takes something that you can't even. I love to say, right, that God gives every man a measure of faith. So that's why I tell people, it's not that God is asking you to believe something. He already gave you the power to believe in this something.
Yeah.
And so it's a little different. So like, if you don't have that gift, or you don't have the possibility, it's not in your own efforts. Like, man, it's not even that I chose God. God chose me.
Yeah.
So when he chose me, he also gave me the belief in this impossibility being possible. And so I know it sounds a little foolish if you lack that same deposit. But if you got the deposit,
You know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Here we go
right?
again.
Right.
Here we go again. Showing how livable stuff that we've been saying is. For years, the church has been saying we peculiar people.
Yeah.
Like, we've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Now, what does that really look like? That means that based on like outside perception, this may look foolish.
Yep.
But this is how I live. I embrace moments when, can I say outside? I embrace moments when outsiders would think that what I'm doing is foolish, because I live by a different set of, I live different.
Exactly.
I live by faith. Right?
Exactly. Right. And I used to write, I'm going to use this as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, right? Like, man, we were blessed to watch one of the best do it. And we watched Tom Brady. Right, it's football season, so I love my football references around this time.
Yeah,
but it became almost comical when what you saw from afar, like, oh, when he was with the Patriots, it was like, man, no, you can never think you're out of it if you got Tom Brady. Well, I wasn't really watching the Patriots like that. Mm-hmm. But then when he became the Buccaneers starting quarterback and I was watching him, I'm like,
yeah,
you really can't. Like, you really can't. Like it was time and time again, he kept showing up.
Yeah.
Like, if you left any time on that clock, it was going to be a problem. And time again, he showed you that it's going to be a problem. The thing is, it would sound foolish if you didn't watch him play. It'd be like, man, you can't, come on, man. They just saying that. It's hype. It's overhyped. No, it's actually real.
Right.
He came down here to the Bucs.
That's good.
And if you left time on that clock, he made a way.
That's right.
You know, and it's like, man, I've seen it for myself. And so you can't talk me out of that experience. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, man, as a believer, your experience becomes what helps you defy the resistance. And that's why it's Paul, when we were preaching out of Galatians, when he was talking to him, like, have you forgotten, like, had you forgotten that you received this Spirit without your own effort? You received this Spirit without you having to strive for it. It was a gift that you got. And just as real as that was then, it's still here now, right?
That's good. That's good. You talk about the value of an experience. Sometimes, I won't even say sometimes, but at some point, your experience is going to have to speak for you. The experience is going to have to speak for you. The experience is going to have to speak louder than what you think you know, right? Because the experience or miracles put you in a place where you have to, you said, unlearn some things that you thought you knew.
That's what it does, right? You know, we covered it week 1 that miracles are done to cause people who do not believe to believe. And so, but what we sometimes don't talk about is people really have a good reason that they don't believe. We think that people just don't believe by default. No, there normally is a set of circumstances that causes them not to believe. And so those set of circumstances meet a moment to where they're going to have to unlearn those things in order to believe in Jesus. And so it's like, man, and what Jesus always does, and that's the point of a miracle, is he gives them experience that causes them to have to unlearn what they thought they understood.
Let's dig into that, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna bring this up. The staff is here so they can relate to this. In a workplace, there's policy often. There's written policy. This is the way we do what we do. But while there is written policy, you can run into a situation where the person in charge, the people in charge, the boss or whoever, makes a decision in a moment that seems to go against the policy, because paper ain't people, right? Like
I don't know if this is a setup, because I don't do the policy around here. I'm definitely the policy breaker. So I don't know if you're trying to set me up. You know, I don't know, man. I feel like I might stay silent on this, but you can ask your question. Like, I know what role I play, and I'm normally the policy breaker, right? But
let's talk about that though. Because it's just what I'm trying to get to. Oh, this morning, Sunday, you said that when you started the message, you talked about how, like, man, Pastor Deborah taught her message, and I don't know if she knew that this message is like part 2.
Yeah.
Right. And I was listening to Pastor Deborah's message, and she started talking about how we use how people approach the Bible. And there's this idea that the Bible is like an instruction manual, right? We even got the saying, like, basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Right.
And what she was saying made me think, like, man, it's more than it's an instruction manual. It's more like a relationship guide, right? I mean, it's a record of accounts and events that lets you know how this person I'm living with operates. So it teaches me, it's not a manual that I'm trying to open and follow this stuff, follow this stuff, follow this stuff, but it lets me know how the who moves as I move with them. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that sometimes people can get caught up on the policy, what's written, forgetting that there's a policy maker who's moving, and I need to learn how the policymaker moves. I need to learn. That's what I'm really looking at, right?
Yeah. I agree.
You agree? We agree. You ever watch the basketball when the person try to throw the alley and the ball goes in the goal? Like I feel like that's what just happened. I was trying to throw the alley.
Man,
I wasn't trying to make the shot.
Pastor Bar, man, I just, that word policy come up, and I just try to fade to the back. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I would say that like the whole point was that the Holy Spirit came because God saw that, man, I can't really trust people to administer it when it's written, that I must send a spirit that you now have me living inside of you that is leading and guiding you. I like to tell people that essentially means, and we got to think about this, right, is that God wouldn't give you a living spirit if it wasn't necessary for you to have active instructions. And so, when we look at our lives, it went from like a template, old covenant, to understanding that it's a blueprint now that's individual to every person. I said this in the series before this one, was that God's goodness for our lives is just as individually written as our fingerprints are to each other. It's unique. And what God will have you to do is completely different than what somebody else may do. It's no longer about what's permissible, but what's profitable because of the Spirit. A lot of people are trying to live by do's and don'ts. Well, man, you can that's a template. It's not about do's and don'ts no more. It's about living according to the Spirit, because so now it's not about what's permissible, it's about what's profitable. There's things that are permissible that I could do, but they're not profitable for who God called me to be. And so because of that, that's where that policy starts to become less. And remember that we are a people, and that on the other side of what we do is to introduce people to a person who can defy the odds in their lives, right? That is his hello. Like I don't think we realize that God wants to defy the odds in people's lives the moment they say hello. And that's why he's like, listen, you can't work your way into deserving this salvation. It's incredible. I know it even sounds a little foolish that I would pour out my grace and mercy upon somebody who did nothing to deserve it. But the first thing I want to do is blow your mind. Boom. Because I want you to understand the nature of this relationship, that I'm going to continue to do what you don't think I should do, or what you don't even think is possible to do. Like, that's my job. It's to make sure that your mind is constantly being renewed and transformed in the fact that with God, all things are possible. Like, that is the way, right? And that's why I said in the last series, I was like, sometimes, our time has expired, so God's kairos can arrive. Because he's always wanting to break our template, our policy, or what we think the framework of how things work. And man, like, yeah, that's good. That's good. I was thinking about moments when this is the one I didn't do on Sunday. You got it. Truth is, it's dangerous to live life outside of your personal experience. Talk about that. That's good. It's actually dangerous to live life outside of your personal experience. Yeah. What will we quantify that is? We would say a religious person is a person who is living life outside of their personal experience, right? Not from Luke 12:48, right? But someone who does not know and then does something wrong will be punished only lightly. When someone has been given much, much will be required in return. And when someone has been entrusted with much, even more will be required. And in Luke 12:48, it's always amazing to me, because I guarantee you that's not what the disciples thought they were going to hear from Jesus. These are Jesus' words to the disciples, because they were wondering, like, man, what are we going to be accountable for? And Jesus was like, wait, hold up. Y'all are going to definitely be more accountable than others. You walked with me. To whom much was given, much will be required. Like, what is he saying? He's saying you have to live. You're going to be judged, and you're going to have to live according to your experience. Like, these people that don't know much, lightly will happen to them. They didn't know, but you knew. Right. Yeah. And a lot of us don't want to receive that truth. But what Jesus is simply saying is, Yeah, I'm asking you to live life according to your experience. It's dangerous to live life outside of your experience. It's like that's living life outside of relationship. He was like, he doesn't expect more than he's, let me say it this way. Relationship. What are we saying? We're saying that we relate to each other.
Right.
There's things that we have related to each other with. God's not expecting you to live outside of what he's already related to you.
Got it.
Like, but he is expecting you to live according to what he has related to you.
That's good.
Like
that's a principle. That sounds like a fundamental principle. Is it the same as saying you're responsible for what he gave you? You're responsible for what he's shown you, right? He's revealing himself to people. He revealed himself to you. You're responsible to what he revealed to you. That's he wants you to respond to what he revealed to you.
Right. I like to say it like this. In order for it to be a test, it means you have to be prepared for it. So a lot of people, they'd be like, man, God's testing me. I said, if God's testing you, that means he prepared you.
That's right.
Like, so it's an open book test. Like and I say that because some people are lost. They're like, oh man, why is this going on? I'm like, man, trust me. If you feel like God is bringing you through a season where you're being tested, that's because he's trying to galvanize what he already related to you.
That's good.
Like he's trying to fortify what he already related to you, right? Like a teacher doesn't just walk in and give you an assessment without preparing you for the assessment,
right? And
God, that same way, think about God. People are like, man, I just don't know what's going on. I'm like, what did he say to you before you entered this? Because I guarantee you what he said to you before you entered this test is what you need to get through whatever this is.
Yeah.
He's galvanizing it, right? Because before, it's like you learn something, right? Oh, man, I just think of so many examples, right? So I played golf. Beautiful thing about playing golf, there's practice, then there's a tournament, right? Practice, then there's a tournament. The thing about a tournament, there's pressure in the tournament that I don't see in the practice. So I can practice things that sometimes I can't execute in the tournament because of the pressure. But I don't know until I take what I practice into the tournament that I can use it because it passed pressure. This is good.
Yeah.
This is real good.
It is.
So it's like before the tournament, I practice things.
Right.
I didn't know if these things would stand the test of the pressure until I got to a tournament to see. There's certain things I practiced that didn't survive the pressure of the tournament. But then there's certain things that I practiced that survived the pressure of the tournament, and I kept those things. My point is, until I played the tournament, I didn't know if what I had practiced was good enough for tournaments.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you go to church, you hear the word.
Right.
Then there must be a tournament.
Right.
So that you know that what you got is good under pressure. Because once you see it perform under pressure, you galvanize it for every season to come.
That's good.
And so my point is, you hear the word, then God says, let me show you how this works under pressure so that you can carry this truth for generations to come.
That's good.
So you don't get a test unless you've been prepared.
Right.
But understand, it's just coming to galvanize or process what it is that you receive. Like I say like this. Man, I wish I had my example. I still love this example. I'm gonna pull it back out, right? That like everybody, the fruit of the Spirit isn't something. Everything God does, you don't earn. He gave to you.
Yeah. So
you have every fruit of the Spirit inside of you.
Right.
But I like to tell people, some people's fruit is just not processed. Right. And so it's like putting the fruit into a blender before you hit blend. Right. Right. So I love this example. Yeah. Right. Because when I'm making a smoothie, it has strawberries, it has bananas, I have all these fruits, and I put it into the blender. Here's the thing: until I hit blend, I haven't extracted the nutrients in a way that it benefits me.
Right.
And a lot of people are just walking around with whole fruit that hasn't hit a process that extracts what it is so that you can see this is good to go.
That's good.
And so you have the fruit. Got it. Got joy. You got it. Don't stop saying, "Oh, I'm learning." No, it's a fruit of the Spirit. When you receive the Spirit, joy moved in. Like peace moved in. Now it moved in unprocessed because you need to meet a situation that causes you to have to lean on what you received.
That's good.
But once you lean on what you received and you realize I can have peace in the midst of trouble, because peace isn't the absence of trouble, it's the presence of God.
Right.
So now I take that truth with me, so I'm not looking for perfect situations to have peace, because I've already processed that I can have peace in the midst of trouble. But in order for me to learn that, I have to run into some trouble and lean on my peace.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
And so, woo! That's what I'm saying. And so then, that's when faith starts to get nice, right? So then you start to realize, like, I'm on this journey with God.
Right.
He reveals something to me.
Right.
Then he pushed me through the test to show me it works good under pressure, so that I can keep it with me for the rest of my life to come.
Right.
Because he's not just looking at me as Brian Poe. He's thinking about Amber and generations to come. And I'm supposed to pass this truth from one generation to the next generation.
So it has to be tested. It has to be tried.
Got it. So that I'm not living in religion and what I heard, but I'm living in what I experienced.
That's
so
good.
when I speak to Amber, I could tell her certified experienced truth that for the Poes, God got your back.
Right.
I know this because there was moments where what I believe hit pressure, and all it did was form a diamond.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And now, when God introduces the miraculous to us as a church, he's not trying to get us to believe in the spooky. He's trying to take our faith in him to a whole nother level of dependency.
Okay.
So when I start to talk about the miraculous, I'm now upping the amount of like turmoil I can see, and my faith still remain in him. Like I'm trying to get people to see, like when I say I believe in the miraculous, I'm saying I believe that God has the ability to intervene in Earth's system for my good. I believe God will sun stand still. I believe God will stop the sun if I gotta fight longer. I believe God will part the waters if I got to get across the lake. I believe that there is no set of circumstances where my dependency on God has to shift away. Many people are people of faith, but their faith has limits. When you start to believe in the miraculous, it pushes the limits of your current faith. It makes you take the lid off of what you thought you knew about faith.
Right.
And that what you thought you knew, you might have to learn something new. Because guess what? Like it opens you to learn something new. Oh, I'm getting so excited, right? Like it's like God's like, no. I'm about to reveal something to you that's going to cause you to have to unlearn what you thought you knew about faith. Like you thought faith, as much as we think we got it,
right?
You don't ever get it. And that's what Paul was saying. His love is too vast for you ever to fully comprehend it. But we're going from glory to glory. Like we're going from one thought of having it to another thought of like, dang. And that's the thing. We always think we got it. But then you get more. And God's just like, no, glory to glory from one. Oh, I'm so
got
excited.
2 pictures in my head. You talked about this, and then I had Pastor Gammage talking about this too, but you used the illustration of the bathroom mirror being foggy. You talked about that, right? Nope. That wasn't you.
Not foggy bathroom.
But you know the verse that talks about how we see, but it's not clear. It gets clearer and clearer. And I think about that when I'm listening to what you're saying, even about the extent of our faith. Like it just gets clearer and clearer. I'm gonna use this example because
this is a little bit more of a Brian Poe example.
All right,
man. At one point in time, we thought color TV was it. At one point in time, we thought HD was it.
Right.
Like it seemed so clear.
Right.
Until 4K came.
That's a good one.
Right. It seemed so clear until 8K. Like until I looked back, I realized, man, HD is a little foggy.
Right.
When I'm looking at 4K.
Right.
But at every stage, we thought we saw clear.
That's good.
At every stage, we thought we saw like perfectly.
Yeah.
And then another update comes and we realize, whoa.
Yeah.
it gets even more sharp.
That's good.
I would say like that. That's how I would say.
That was good. You did it.
He needs to upgrade his examples because a foggy mirror. I mean, I guess if I were going to use the foggy conversation, if I was going to use a foggy mirror example to kind of speak towards clarity, it's like using like Walmart brand products to clean your mirror, and you thought it was clean, but then you go get like Windex, and it gets a little cleaner. Then you move the Armor All, and it gets a little cleaner, and so you upgrading the cleaning material, and then the cloth, right? Then you start getting like a better cloth. Like I went from like some people, no, not a rag. Some people still using the toilet paper. They just use the toilet paper. They're trying to clean it, and they got little white streaks on it, right? Yeah. Then they go from the toilet paper to then they go just get like a paper roll, maybe not name brand, the great value one. And so you get the great value roll, but then you upgrade and you go get like
Viva
Bounty. You know what I'm saying? The quicker picker upper. You know what I'm saying? And now you like, oh snap, the clarity. Then you go get you a terry cloth. Boom. But then you move up to the microfiber. Woo! Yesterday I was cleaning my truck with one of them brand new microfibers. Some people like, where's he get? I literally was doing this yesterday as far as this sounds. I was cleaning my truck and I was like, man, I need to upgrade my towel. I think it's the towel. So I went and got me one of them new fancy microfiber towels. And I'm trying to tell you, it made things so much. It's like it knew how to get the pockets that the microfiber that came with it. You know, you go to the car cleaning places and they have some towels. Yeah. I used the towels there. Well, I was using those towels and I was like, it's not getting that clean. So I went and got me, one of them real nice microfiber joints. One swipe, man, it's just
did the job.
Like if you went out look at my truck right now, my wheels is shining. You probably think, who he paid to do that? Nobody.
You did it.
Like I took my time.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to a thing like there's certain things, man. I don't know. I just truly believe this is something I really believe that in every season of our lives, like there's some activity we should be doing that makes us slow down and honor processes. Yeah. And so yesterday, right, man, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling agitated about certain things. I'm feeling a little like antsy about certain things. And I was like, I need to go do something that makes me honor a process. So I went and washed my truck. I'm gonna wash my truck. It slows you down, makes you appreciate the small things, makes you just like realize that, man, in every life, no matter how much I'm feeling like inspired or encouraged, I still have to honor processes, and so I'm cleaning my truck and, just, man, all of that, man. And man, but that becomes the journey and you enjoy it, man. Like we always talk about like, it's not about the outcome, it's about the journey, but then we don't really learn how to embrace the journey. So if it's about the journey, it's not about the outcome. What are you doing to learn how to enjoy journeys? And one of the things I do to learn how to enjoy journeys is I do things that cause me to respect the process. Like, man, respect the process. Like I will respect the parts that make it happen. I will move into the moments that make it happen. I will say things that make everybody in the room move into moments that make you appreciate making it happen. I will say things intentionally that slow down our progress, that makes us to respect right here where we are. Like, man, like they'll tell you all the time. I'll tell people, like, I'll tell the staff all the time, like, let's pause, man, and let's think about this moment. Let's think about where we were and where we are now. Like, man, like, yeah. So like I said, we talk about enjoying the journey, but we don't practice things that make us respect the journey, honor processes. And all the while I'm just thinking to myself, and I say this to people and they probably think like, why is he saying this? But it's actually very intentional. It's just raise up her camera and I was going to use her as an example, but so it kind of threw me off. But no, Evan, like, we had a photo shoot at Envision, and I walked up to her, which she may have thought it was random, but it wasn't very random at all. And I said, Evan, remember the last time you was going out there, you was talking about needing Uber to get there. But now you're going back in your own car.
You're whipping. Yeah.
I said, that wasn't even 6 months later. I said, you know what's even more crazy about that, Evan? 8 months ago, you didn't even know you'd be working here. What does that tell you about what God can do with the future you think you got to plan out perfectly?
That's good.
If you're living in a moment you couldn't see. And so often we don't slow down to realize that you're literally
That was grabbable right
You're
there.
literally living in a moment you didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that your plan matters now.
Yeah.
God's been in control the whole time.
Right.
Like you are literally, for her, you're driving a car that you didn't know you'd be driving, working at a place you didn't know you'd be working, going to a location you didn't even know existed to do what you love to do. 6 months ago, none of this was on any of your vision boards, but you're living in it.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about what God's going to do with the next? If you already see he's orchestrating the now.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes you like, you know what, let me jump into it. And I can say this about several people in this room right now, right? Miss Clementine, a year ago, did you think you'd be in this room right now? No.
Right.
Shoot. What does that tell you? But are you enjoying being here?
Absolutely.
So God already knew what you would enjoy that wasn't in a part of your plan, but he already orchestrated a way for it to happen. What does that's great for you to look back that way, but it's even better for you to, the reason why I said before, we reflect on his character so that we can project it into our future.
Right.
You reflect and you see God in your past so that you can project what you saw into your future. So it's like, why would I be worried now if right now your truth, not my truth,
That's good.
right? This is your truth. I'm talking about your experience with life right now is God will do exceedingly abundantly above what I thought or imagined.
Yeah.
So why would I worry now if I'm living in a reality I didn't map out?
Yeah.
God dog, like he's been good. And that's why you got to move into the moments, man. You got to move into the moments, and you got to learn how to respect the journey. If we know it to be true, how do you respect it? You got to reflect. You got to attend. Then you protect what you got. Man, I don't know how long I've been here. I'm blessing myself.
That's
but
good.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. Like, man, believers, man, when we start talking, man, peace. Man, God's good, man.
God is good.
Man, amazing. And he's been faithful, man.
Yep.
Like, I'd be saying stuff and I'd really be mean and be like, man, you ain't gonna talk bad about my God, man. Like, I know that sounds very personal. That's how I feel. Like, the same way you ain't finna talk about my mama, you ain't finna talk about my God. Let me tell you something. Like, man, you got an experience coming. And just wait. Just wait.
God's good.
Right?
Yeah.
All in there.
Good God. Good God. Praise the good God. Yes. That was good. Good stuff to think about. Good stuff to chew on. All day, all week. Hey, listen, we love you. But more than that, God loves you. As you go through this day, go through it, attending to what God has said to you. Keep being most blessed. We'll see you soon.